Welcome back, coffee enthusiasts. In today's video, we are delving into the captivating success story of Starbucks, a brand that revolutionized the coffee industry and changed the way we enjoy our favorite caffeinated beverages. Get ready to sip on some knowledge as we explore the incredible journey of Starbucks, the success story that changed the coffee game. The early years. Starbucks was founded by Jerry Baldwin, Gordon Boker, and Zev Siegel, opening its first store in 1971 near the historic Pike Place Market in Seattle. The three Starbucks founders had two things in common. They were all coming from academia, and they all loved coffee and tea. They invested and borrowed some money to open the first store in Seattle and named it Starbucks, after the first mate, Starbuck, in Herman Melville's classic novel Moby Dick. Alfred Peet, a coffee roasting entrepreneur, was a major inspiration to the founders of Starbucks. Peet was a Dutch immigrant who had begun importing fine Arabica coffees into the United States during the 1950s. In 1966, he opened a small store, Peet's Coffee and Tea, in Berkeley, California, that specialized in importing first-rate coffees and teas. Peet's success encouraged the Starbucks founders to base their business model on selling high-quality coffee beans and equipment, and Peet's became the initial supplier of green coffee beans to Starbucks. The partners then purchased a used roaster from Holland, and Baldwin and Boker experimented with Alfred Peet's roasting techniques to create their own blends and flavors. By the early 1980s, Starbucks had opened 4 stores in Seattle that stood out from the competitors with their top-quality fresh roasted coffees. In 1980, Siegel decided to pursue other interests and left the 2 remaining partners, with Baldwin assuming the role of company president. The Howard Schultz era. In 1981, Howard Schultz, a sales representative for Hammerplast, a Swedish company that made kitchen equipment and housewares from which Starbucks bought drip coffee makers, noticed how large the company's orders were, which prompted him to pay it a visit. Schultz was so impressed that he decided to pursue a career at Starbucks, and he was hired as the head of marketing in 1982. Schultz noticed that first-time customers sometimes felt uneasy in the stores because of their lack of knowledge about fine coffees. So he worked with store employees on developing customer-friendly sales skills and produced brochures that made it easy for customers to learn about the company's products. Schultz's biggest idea for the future of Starbucks came during the spring of 1983 when the company sent him to Milan to attend an international housewares show. While in Italy, he was impressed with the country's cafes and discovered that Milan alone boasted 1,500 coffeehouses. Inspired, he thought of doing something similar in Starbucks and envisioned turning a tiny regional operation into a national coffeehouse chain via rapid store expansion. However, Baldwin and Boker were not enthusiastic about Schultz's idea, as they did not want Starbucks to deviate much from its traditional model of business. They wanted Starbucks to remain strictly a coffee and equipment seller and not turn into a cafe that served espressos and cappuccinos. In March 1987, Baldwin and Boker decided to sell Starbucks, and Schultz was quick to use Il Giornale to purchase the company with investor backing. He combined all his operations under the Starbucks brand and committed to the cafe concept for the business, with additional sales of beans, equipment, and other items in Starbucks stores. Under Schultz's guidance, in 4 years the coffeehouse chain grew from fewer than 20 stores to more than 100. Starbucks entered into a meteoric period of expansion that continued after the company went public in 1992. In 1996, it began opening stores outside North America, and Starbucks soon became the largest coffeehouse chain in the world. By the end of the decade, Starbucks had some 2,500 locations in about a dozen countries. Schultz announced in 2000 that he was stepping down as CEO but would remain as chairman. By 2007, the chain boasted more than 15,000 locations worldwide but was foundering, and in January 2008, Schultz returned as CEO. He oversaw the closure of 900 stores and implemented an ambitious strategy to secure new avenues of growth, which included acquisitions of a bakery chain and the makers of a coffee brewing system as well as the introduction of an instant coffee brand. He also oversaw changes to menu offerings at Starbucks stores. Starbucks had begun selling food in its cafes in 2003. These moves were largely successful, and by 2012 Starbucks had rebounded financially. Schultz again stepped down as CEO and was replaced as CEO by Kevin Johnson in 2017.
Schultz continued to be active in the company, serving as executive chairman until 2018, when he was replaced by Myron Ullman.
The world's largest Starbucks, a Starbucks Reserve Roastery, opened in Chicago in 2019. In 2021, Starbucks had a presence in dozens of countries around the globe and operated over 32,000 stores. During this time, however, Starbucks was also facing various challenges. Notably, workers at several of its stores began to unionize, despite opposition from the company. In addition, the COVID-19 pandemic and related supply chain issues had a negative impact on sales, especially in China, one of the company's key markets. In 2022, Johnson abruptly departed, and Schultz returned as interim CEO. Later that year, Starbucks announced that it had hired Laxman Narasimhan to replace Schultz in 2023. And there you have it, the captivating success story of Starbucks, a brand that transformed the coffee game and left an indelible mark on the world. Through their commitment to quality, customer experience, and social responsibility, Starbucks continues to inspire and shape the future of the coffee industry. We hope you enjoyed this journey through the remarkable success story of Starbucks. If you have any thoughts, experiences, or favorite Starbucks moments, we'd love to hear them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content, and stay caffeinated as you explore the world of coffee.